gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranam gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranam gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinadana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kamesu miccachara veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musavada veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Sura meraya majjapamadhatana veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Sura meraya majjapamadhatana veramani sikkhapadam samadhiyami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante, for leading us in the 3 refuges and 5 precepts. Now, I'd like to formally request Bhante Mahinda for tonight's talk on the topic Remembering the Buddha. Please, Bhante.
Before I commence the talk, we will sit for a few minutes. We'll just do metta for a few minutes, yeah? So if you like to adjust your body to an upright and relaxed position, and feel your shoulder joints relax. You may choose to close or half close your eyes. Just bring your attention within. Observe the calm, the quietness within. Just remain in this state of calm and quietness for a few moments with clear sense of awareness. Whatever phenomena that arises, the sounds that you hear, feeling, sensation that arises, you have clear awareness of them, and your mind is not disturbed, not distracted. In this state of calm and quietness, you will commence with the practice of metta, loving kindness, wishing yourselves to be well and happy. As you wish yourselves well and happy, feel a sense of well-being and keep a smile in your heart. And tell yourselves, be free from anger, free from enmity, from hatred and grudges, free from sufferings, from fear, from worries, from anxieties, and just dwell in calm and peace. Just as you wish to be well, happy, calm, and peaceful, you will spread out loving kindness all around you. Feel the calm, the quietness within, radiating to your whole room and beyond your room to the whole house, the whole building. to all the neighborhood, all the surrounding areas, covering the whole city, the whole country, and beyond this country to all the neighboring countries, all the neighboring islands, covering the whole world and all the realms of existence, known or unknown to us, seen or unseen, that may all beings be well and happy. All beings be well and happy. May they be free from harm, free from dangers. May they dwell in peace and harmony. Just spend a few moments in quietness, and whoever that comes to your mind, just have good wish for them all, that they be well and happy. That all beings be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sukhi Hotu to all brothers and sisters in the Dharma. I rejoice with the Young Buddhist Association of Malaysia and also the Yayasan Buddhist Balea for this invitation, and on this Wesak month that you all organize, and about remembering the Buddha. Yeah. Why should we remember the Buddha? There are many reasons, but I will focus on just 3 reasons. Yeah. The first reason being that the Buddha has shown us the way how to overcome suffering. The suffering that accompanies birth, old age, sickness, and death. As long as we are born in one form or another, we all go through the process of aging, sickness, and death. So, this is what the Buddha has shown us, how it is possible to overcome all suffering. And there are countless beings that has actually verified. Not only human beings, there are devas, there are higher beings that practice the Dhamma, and they were able to be free from all sufferings. And even today, there are still good Dhamma practitioners in this world who have realized what the Buddha taught at varying degrees. So we have to rejoice. We rejoice with our own connections that we have made with the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So we should not forget the Buddha. We should always remember the Buddha with a deep sense of respect and gratitude. So that's the first reason. The second reason is, if you are a member of the YBAM or any other Buddhist organization, you should be grateful for the opportunity that you have to serve and to acquire great merits. Now, those with the YBAM, if you go back, if you trace back 50 years ago, when the YBAM was founded, you will come across the names of a few monks, a few masters and teachers. One of them being my teacher, Venerable K. Sri Dhammananda. And the other was Venerable Tsukmo. Yeah. And even before that, there was also another monk, a European monk, Father Sumangalo. Yeah. And so all those who have become monks and nuns and who have guided all of you, whether YBAM or any other organizations, Buddhist organizations, remember that all those who have chosen to become monks and nuns and join the monastic order, they have done so because of the Buddha. So, therefore, we must always remember the Buddha. Yeah? Because it was the Buddha that initiated the order of the Sangha, the monastic order, and that continues for more than 2,500 years up to now. Yeah. Now, the third reason is because this is the month of Vesak. The Indian, actually Vesak comes from the Pali Sanskrit term Vaishakha. It is actually the name of a month, the name of a lunar month in the Indian calendar. Yeah. And three important events took place with regards to the Buddha. One was his birth. The Buddha was born on a full moon day of the month of Vesak. Then he attained enlightenment. And then again he attained Mahaparinibbana, or the great passing away. They all fell in the month of Vesak. Yeah. So these three events, they are very significant to our own lives because they actually teach us the true purpose of our life. If we ask ourselves, what is it that we really want in this life? Everyone will tell you that they want to be happy. And their happiness, all our happiness, are directly related to freedom. If we are free to do what we want, we are happy. If we are not free to do what we want, then we become unhappy. But there is no real freedom if our minds are not free from greed, hatred, and delusion, or what they call the three poisons. Yeah. if our minds are not free from greed, hatred, delusions, we cannot enjoy the real freedom. And this is why, through the Buddha's enlightenment, the Buddha became fully awakened. He was totally free. Why? Because he was totally freed from greed, hatred, delusion. That is why when we recite the great qualities and virtues of the Buddha, Iti piso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijja charana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattha deva manusanang buddho bhagavati. These are the traditional daily devotion when we recite the virtues, the qualities of the Buddha. There are 9 virtues, qualities. The first one is Iti piso bhagava arahang. The first quality is arahang, that the Buddha was an arahant. And who is an arahant? Arahant, the worthy one that is free from greed, hatred, delusion. Of course, in the case of the Buddha, he was not only an arahant, he was also samma sambuddho. He was perfectly enlightened through his own efforts. Yeah. Now, if we can just remember the Buddha, and we remember this great quality that the Buddha was free from greed, hatred, delusion, then you ask yourself, can you go through one day, 24 hours, or not 24 hours, maybe only 12 hours? Can you go through the day without anger, without craving desire, and without confusion in your mind? You can't. It is not easy. So when we think like that, we can realize how great the Buddha is. Yeah. Buddha achieved that. He was totally free from greed, hatred, delusion. Now there's another quality I want to mention. Tonight there's no time to go through all the 9 qualities, but there's another quality, the last one. The quality says, Sattha Deva Manusanang. The Buddha is known as teacher of gods and men. Sattha Deva Manusanang, devas and humans. Now why? Because during this period, when this is a period of crisis due to COVID-19, yeah, and you need blessings. We all need blessings, guidance, and protection. Yeah. So this is where, if you cultivate the Dhamma properly, then, and you think of the Buddha, always remember the Buddha. And what happened? There are so many beings, there are countless beings that have benefited from what the Buddha taught. And surely there will be some of them somewhere around. When they come to know that you have faith, you remember Buddha, they will be happy with you. Yeah. Then that is how they will also guide you. They will also look, protect you. That is Deva Manusana. So this is where, when we know this quality of the Buddha, Yeah. Now I come back again to this Vesak month, that the birth, the enlightenment, and the great passing away or Mahaparinibbana of the Buddha. The birth. Although the Buddha was born as an ordinary human being, but his birth was not an ordinary birth. Why? Because he was able to choose the right time, the country, the locality, the family, and the mother. These 5 things, we are told that the Buddha, before he was born as Siddhartha Gautama, he was in the Tusita heaven. His name was Seta Ketu. And he considered these 5 things. He considered the right time, the country, the locality, the family or the clan, and the mother. Yeah. In our case, we don't have this choice. Yeah. We had no choice. We are being directed by our karma, right? And then, but somehow, we are still very fortunate to be born at a time when the Buddha Dhamma is still available. We still have the opportunity to listen, to study, to practice the Dhamma, and also to gain our final liberation. So we are fortunate in this sense. Why? Because this is what many people may not be able to understand, because there are different eras, there are different times. There are certain times where for eons, for long hundreds, thousands of years, there is no Buddha, and there are no teachings of the Buddha. So people those beings that are born during that time, they will be suffering. They go through a lot of suffering and fighting and quarreling and killing one another. Yeah. So in that regards, we consider we are fortunate. And also, we have the freedom. We are born in a country, in a place where we are still free to practice our religion, right? Of course, even though sometimes mom and dad may not be happy with you, yeah, especially if you want to become monks or nuns, yeah. So that is why it is very important to choose the parent, yeah, and mother especially, yeah, because if you want to become a monk or nun, you should get permission from your parents, yeah. And I know there are so many young ones who have so much of faith in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, but the parents are not happy to allow them to become monks and nuns. Yeah. So that is why, if for whatever reason, if your parents are not happy for you to lead a religious, spiritual life, then you have something to do in this lifetime. You have to fulfill your duty, your responsibility towards your parents. Yeah. And one important duty, responsibility is to bring them to the Dhamma. So with that merit, perhaps in your next life, yeah, you will have opportunity. Yeah. So for me, I feel very fortunate Yeah, because my mother, I had a virtuous and a wise mother. When I wanted to become a monk, I went to her and asked for permission. And you know what she said? She said this to me. She said, I carry you in my womb for 10 months. I want you to be happy. If you are happy, I will be happy. Yeah. So those who are moms and dads, yeah, please take note of this. In case your children ask you, then you say the same thing, okay? Yeah. So truly, why? Because I was the only son. Yeah. Yeah. So when my mother gives me permission, I feel so happy. Yeah. Yeah. So that is why you know the significance of being born at the right time, in the right place, in the right family, and the right mother. In the case of the Buddha, he has practiced his virtues and merits from life to life, from life to life. He has perfected his virtues in the 10 perfections or the 6 perfections. He has perfected them. And that is how he had that ability. His birth was a culmination, was the result of all the great virtues which he has perfected. So that is why when we know this and we don't complain, in case you are born in some place and you don't complain, it is also because of your past merits. So that is why now in this lifetime you must do the merits thing, yeah, practice the Dhamma, and then you will have opportunity in your next life, if not in this very lifetime too. So the birth of the Buddha is special. Then enlightenment of the Buddha. That enlightenment of the Buddha actually, it's the greatest thing that any human being can achieve. Enlightenment. It marks the fullest potential of a human being. What human being can achieve, right? Of course, in a worldly sense, you all have various ideas that you achieve, right? And those in university, or those who are studying in high school, if you got straight A's, you get great achievement, yeah? And those who work and they get promotion and they become a CEO, CIO, CFO, and great achievement for them, yeah? But that is only at the world level, and the more this kind of achievement gives rise to more suffering, yeah? In the case of the Buddha attained supreme, perfect enlightenment. Yeah. Now, to give you some idea how the Buddha attained this enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, there are 3 important knowledges that arose in him, in his mind. We are told that in the first watch of the night being divided into three parts. The first watch from 6 o'clock when the sun set, and 6 o'clock till 6 to 10, and then 10 to 2, and then 2 to 6. The 3, what you call watches of the night. Yeah. And so the first watch of the night, we were told, and that the Buddha was able to see his past lives. Pubbe Nivasa Nosati Jnana. Buddha realized, and he was able, in the calmness, in the clarity of his mind, he had the vision to see his past life, one after the other, one after the other. Yeah. So if it is the first watch of the night, 4 hours, you just have to sit and watch a movie for 4 hours and you know how long, how many things you can see. Yeah. So this is what the Buddha was able to see his past lives for 4 hours. Yeah. One after the other in all the great details. Yeah. And then after seeing his own past life, the next thing he saw how beings die and they are reborn. It is called Chutupapata Jnana. Chutupapata Jnana. The knowledge of how to see how people die, beings where, upon death, and where they are reborn, how they are reborn. It's according to their karma. Chutupapata Jnana. Yeah, this knowledge. Now, seeing his own past lives and seeing the lives of other beings, the Buddha realized the sufferings that he has gone through and the sufferings that all others have gone through. Then the Buddha focused his mind because his aim was to find out the way how to overcome all sufferings. And that is what the third watch of the night, that will be from about 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Yeah. Then the Buddha realized how suffering arises and how suffering ceases. Buddha realized how everything arises dependent on cause and effect. It is the principle of idappaccayata. Idappaccayata is actually the law of causality, or cause and effect. And through this phenomena, Buddha was able to see how suffering arises, how suffering ceases. This teaching is passed down to us in the form of what is called paticca samuppada, or dependent origination. Yeah. Dependent origination actually teaches us how suffering arises and how suffering ceases. And the Buddha taught this, what he realized, the Buddha taught in simple terms. He simplified it in terms of the Four Noble Truths. In the first sermon in Saranath, when the Buddha preached the first sermon, Buddha summarized what he had realized, how suffering arises, how suffering ceases, in terms of the Four Noble Truths, right? That there is suffering, the cause of suffering, there is an end to suffering, and there's a way to end suffering. So don't worry. We see a lot of suffering today, yeah? You must know there's a cause to it. And there's also the end. Don't worry, there will come an end, yeah? There's a way to end suffering, yeah? So the enlightenment of the Buddha actually has paved the way for all of you, all of us. This is something we may not realize. Actually, it is the enlightenment of the Buddha, the knowledge, the insight that he realized. It has paved the way for all of us to put an end to all suffering, if we choose to. Yeah? And if you choose to enjoy your life a little bit more, then you suffer a little bit more. Yeah. So, so when we realize this, how the Buddha, upon his enlightenment, and then the teachings that he gave, showed us very clearly how to end suffering. This is actually, this fact alone is enough reason for us to always remember the Buddha. Yeah. And that is why during this period of COVID-19, I often tell even the young ones, yeah, I always ask them to remember the Buddha by reciting Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dhammaya, Namo Sanghaya. That is how we connect to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Salutation to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. You can do it in different ways to connect with the Buddha, Amitabha, or you can do it. There are different ways of how we connect with the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Yeah. So now, considering the problem of COVID-19, now we hear that more than 3.3 million, even more, and people have died globally. And you know, with that amount of people dying, you know, they also have relatives, they have brothers, sisters, they have relatives. So you know how many million more people having sorrow, fear, worries, anxieties, yeah? Now, this is all the more reason why we have to remember the Buddha. Because the Buddha, the all-enlightened, awakened one, has shown us the path, how to overcome suffering. So in a time like this, we must look back and recall what the Buddha taught and how we can practice this. Yeah. So this is why remembering Buddha, when we say remembering the Buddha, is not just to remember, but also to have the respect, the gratitude. And this year, this is the second year when you have the lockdown. And so most people will not be able to visit temple, yeah, to do the pre-COVID times. You see thousands of people going to temple, right? They offer what you call the lights, incense, flowers, and then they get some string, they get some water to drink, yeah? That was the pre-COVID time, yeah? Now, you can't do that. But there is nothing to stop you from visiting your temple. Where is your temple? Yeah? Of course, you may think your temple is there. Actually, your real temple is here, within your own hearts. So you must make sure you keep the Buddha there in your heart. Yeah? And I see that some of you have got Buddha and Kuan Yin and Guru and all that there. Make sure you keep all that. Your heart, in order to keep all of them, your heart must be big. Yeah? You must have space for all the enlightened masters and teachers. You must accommodate them. That's your spiritual this thing. Yeah. So this is how do we go within our heart, in our real temple within? It is actually by the cultivation of loving kindness and compassion. Yeah. That is how we connect with our heart. And those who know about the different chakras in the body, you will realize that the COVID-19 virus actually, they attack the lungs. And the lungs in the heart area, that is why It is so important for you to cultivate loving kindness, to strengthen your heart base. Yeah. So remember, even you are not able to make offerings, all the traditional offerings, but in the teachings of the Buddha, there is mention of two kinds of offerings. It is called Amisa Puja, that is offering of material things. Offering of material things refer to light, incense, flowers, fruits, and all that. They are all material offerings. All the decorations that you make in the temple, they are all material offerings. Then there is what you call Pratipatti Puja. Pratipatti Puja refers to the offering of practice. And what is the offering of practice? It is actually your practice of Dhamma. So when you practice Dhamma, then you offer that practice. So there's nothing that can stop you in your own home, in your own room, in wherever you are, to practice Dhamma and make that offering, yeah, to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Yeah. It is only through your practice that you will be able to appreciate and eventually be able to recognize the Buddha. Because the Buddha said, Yo Dhammang Pasati, so Mang Pasati. He who sees the Dhamma sees me. So that is why if you want to come close to the Buddha and understand who or what the Buddha is, it is important to practice the Dhamma. Now, what Dhamma should we practice? What teachings, which aspect of the teachings of the Buddha should we practice? If we go through the Pali Tripitaka, the Buddhist scriptures, you find there is a discourse known as the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Mahasatipatthana Sutta is the discourse on the cultivation of mindfulness, the four foundations of mindfulness. And that is one of the most important discourses in the Tripitaka. Yeah. It is one of the most important discourses. Yeah. Then, in the light of what is happening today, where there's so much of fear and worries and aversion, and that is why the practice of metta, loving kindness. Because when you start to practice metta, loving kindness, then compassion will develop. Then you will have the joy, altruistic joy, mudita, and then upekkha. So those of you who have taken the vaccination, and that vaccination is for your body, physical, you need another 4 vaccination. It is the Dhamma vaccine. Yeah. You need to vaccinate metta so that you don't get angry, you don't get upset. Yeah. Yeah. Then after that, after you have to give another dose of karuna, compassion. So you have compassion when you see people suffering, you have a great compassion for them. Yeah. And then you reach out to help in whatever way that you can. Then you develop the 3rd vaccine is mudita. And when you do that properly, then only you get your 4th vaccine. That is called upekkha. Upekkha is where you have the harmonious equanimity. Then you will not be affected by anything that happens around you. Yeah. So remember these 4 vaccines also. Yeah. And they are physical level, the physical level, you also will have to take not first dose, you will have to take second dose, third dose, and then we do not know. When as the years go by, you have to still renew. But when you practice Dhamma, then this Dhamma naturally develop. From Metta, it will develop Karuna, Mudita, Upekha. And then other great qualities will develop, right? So that is why, and during this period, and we would like, as last year, the YBAM has what you call initiated 1,000,000 minutes of metta. And it's so good because there's so many young ones in Malaysia, not only young ones, older people, they also have heard what metta is about. Yeah. So this year, and we like you to help, right? To introduce 1,000,000 minutes of metta and mindfulness. Yeah. Oh, yes, that's right. So add another M, 4M now. Yeah. Last year, 3M. Now, this year, 4M. Now, last year, you had only 1 month to do it, right? And this year, you will have longer time because no fixed time. Yeah. So you can take time to accumulate. Yeah. Now, I will tell you a little bit about what this, I give you idea because the real launching will be done on Vesak Day. Yeah. And, but the 1,000,000 minutes of metta and mindfulness, it will be a global initiative. That means it will reach out to other parts of the world. The idea is to reach out to like-minded Dharma friends and to practice together. To practice together to alleviate, that means to reduce the sufferings caused by COVID-19 pandemic at the individual as well as global level. And how we do that? We do that by transforming ourselves, by changing our habit patterns, right? And eventually transform ourselves through the practice of metta and mindfulness. Whilst it is, we all know the value of prayer and chanting, yeah? Pre-COVID times, you find thousands of people going to temple to pray, yeah, and to chant, yeah. But now, during this COVID period, yeah, and post-COVID period, yeah, the aftermath, what you call prayers alone is not enough, right? We have to cultivate, we have to make our mind strong in order to be able to face the challenges of our time. And that is why the promotion we wish to encourage you all to practice these two things, metta and mindfulness. Now, how do you apply metta and mindfulness? To apply metta mindfulness in your daily life, day-to-day activities, first thing, it's important to develop a daily routine. That means to sit at least once a day, 15 minutes, or if you can sit a bit longer, half an hour. Ideally, you sit twice a day. But if you cannot, then at least once a day, so that you cultivate a sense of calmness and clarity of mind. And with that calmness and clarity of mind, you go through your daily activities. And you can set aside at least 1 or 2 hours a day, whatever activities that you do, because don't forget, metta and mindfulness you practice not only sitting. Buddha's advice, you can practice metta while standing, sitting, walking, lying down. You can still practice metta. And mindfulness also, you can develop mindfulness, all the 4 postures. Yeah? And whatever activities that you do, eating, drinking, answering the call of nature, cooking, cleaning up your house, you do it mindfully. You know, just drinking a cup of tea. While you drink the cup of tea, you know, all sorts of thoughts come to your mind. There can be all sorts of thoughts that will come to your mind. Yeah. Sometimes you get angry. Sometimes craving arises. Yeah. All just within that span. So it is only when you are mindful that you become aware of the thoughts. Then you check yourself. If there is aversion, then you check yourself. You remind yourself, metta, metta, metta. Be free from anger, free from this thing. And then you smile. Yeah. So if any craving arises, any desire arises, then you check yourself with mindfulness. You have to tell yourself, mindful. And then you take a deep breath and then let go. So this is a little bit, but there are other ways. There are other ways how you can practice and achieve this mindfulness. Yeah. So those of you who have been initiated, you know how to recite the mantras, you have to listen, because sometimes there are certain defilements, such as anger or craving, become so strong that it doesn't go in a hurry. So that is why mantras, the word mantra is actually, it is a protection for the mind. It protects the mind. Yeah. And that's why when we practice in the forest, we recite Bhutto, 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 Bhutto. Yeah. Yeah. And I remember when we sit down for hours, very painful, but we just Bhutto, 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 and the pain gone. Yeah. Yeah. So in the same manner, and in Mahayana, in Vajrayana, they have developed, there are different powerful mantras. Yeah. That can help one. So this is how we got to practice and then apply metta and mindfulness. So, and then not forgetting at the end of the day, after you have practiced, make sure that you recall how long you have practiced, how long you sit, yeah? And then those of you who know how to fill up the Google form, you can fill up the Google form and send it to, you know, YBAM, or send it to your respective listing. You can go to metaroundtheworld.org. After you send, then you offer this practice to the Buddha. It doesn't matter, even if you do not know to fill up the Google form, you can get some other people to help you. Yeah. Then you offer your practice to the Buddha. Yeah. And after you offer practice to the Buddha, you seek forgiveness for any shortcomings, any laziness. And then share the merits with all the Dhamma protectors, all the guardian deities. And then you make your wish, your aspiration. You make the wish and aspiration to improve your practice the following day. And this is how you will be able to practice the Dhamma with joy, that you will look forward to improve, keep improving yourself. And this is how the practice of metta and mindfulness will help us to reduce the tendencies of greed, hatred, and delusion. And lastly, I remind you again what the Buddha taught. Buddha said, Sabba papasa karanang kusala sapasampada sachitta paryo dapanang etang buddhana sasana. In English, simple, to put it simply, avoid all evil, to do the good, and to purify one's mind. This is the teachings of all Buddhas. Now, what is the meaning avoiding evil and doing the good? It is actually when we check our thoughts, speech, and body action, and we avoid the tendencies, we check the tendencies of greed, hatred, delusion from arising in our thought, our speech, our body action. That's how we avoid the bad habits. Then we cultivate the good habits of metta, of loving kindness, compassion, yeah, and letting go. We cultivate this goodness, and that's how it will lead us to the purification of mind. Yeah. So that's all I have for tonight. I see it is time, and but if you wish to have a few questions, I don't mind to stay on a little while. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Bhante, for sharing the Dhamma with us. So, dear brothers and sisters, so just like what Bhante said just now, remembering Buddha is not only remember, but we need to respect, practice, and apply to our own real life. And so do practice our merit so that we can have a good karma to stand on the path of awakening. So Bhante, here we have two questions. So I will ask on behalf. Question number one is from Facebook. It says here, why is Buddha missing for 1,000 years?
Sorry, why?
Why is Buddha missing for 1,000 years?
I don't get, why is the Buddha?
It says, why is the Buddha missing for 1,000 years?
Missing, is it?
Yeah, missing.
Oh, okay. I did mention not 1,000. It can be thousands and thousands of years and millions. Yeah, it's kalpas. This is you know, now there are according to our tradition, yeah, it is mentioned that the teachings, the Buddha teachings of Sakyamuni Buddha, yeah, and will last for 5,000 years. Yeah. And then after that, it will disappear from the minds of men. Actually, it is already beginning to disappear because all of you are very busy. You have no time. That is why when we tell you to sit every day half an hour, you think very, oh, how can I find time? Yeah. So because our minds are distracted, so many things to learn, so many things to do. Yeah. So, and the most important thing to learn about ourselves, the true nature of ourselves, the true nature of our mind, we forget about that. And that is why more and more people are forgetting, and eventually the Dhamma will be forgotten. And we are already reaching this stage. This is the stage of Dhamma declining age. The Dhamma declining age, it is said that during the time of Dhamma declining, there will be all sorts of illnesses that will come. Wars, conflicts, all those things. And we are already facing all these things. This is the Dhamma declining age. Yeah. And that's all the more important reason why you should not forget the Buddha. You should not forget the Buddha. Yeah. And because there's so much of distraction. Yeah. Then it comes a time. This is the cycle. This is according to this, the dharmic cycle. You come to a certain cycle where Dhamma flourishes, and then after that, it declines, and then it disappears. And when it disappears, it will be gone for a long, long time. Yeah, I only mentioned 1,000, but it can be thousands and thousands. It is mentioned that in the commentaries mentioned sometimes a kalpa, and you can't think kalpa, the whole world cycle. The world cycle from the time the earth is formed and then it disintegrates, that's we call one small world cycle, one kalpa. And can you imagine during the period of time where there's no dharma, there's no real dharma, these things, yeah? So this is what is mentioned, yeah? Exactly why, I can't tell you, but this is because the minds of people, right? And they are so, what you call, distracted to many other things except the dharma. Yeah. Yes, next question.
All right, next question is, beside brings parents into the Dhamma, what else should we do? Or what karma should we create to feel the get parents that support us to the Dhamma in our next life?
Can you come back again? Because
I think it means what should we do or what should we practice to fulfill the situations or to get parents that can support us to the Dhamma.
To get parents to
support us to the Dhamma. Yeah. What should we do?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. First you must make your parents happy. Yeah. And so you must, how to make your parents happy. I'm sure you know what your parents like to eat and what they like something, and then you buy, you work. First you must work hard and then make them happy. And once they are happy, then they would like to listen to you. If they are not happy, if you confront, then they won't listen. When you make them happy, and you know how to make them happy. I would tell you, this is how I did it, yeah? I remember when I was young, I was very angry and hot-tempered, yeah? Yeah. And so I did not know how to overcome it, yeah? And it was not until when I was studying in university in New Zealand that I met a teacher, and he taught me how to practice loving kindness. Then I started to practice. I did not sleep, I did not wake up without radiating metta, loving kindness, first of all to my parents, my mother, father, and I radiate metta to them, and then whoever has been supporting me, whoever has been helping me, I will think of them and I just wish them all to be well and happy. This is how I practice. Yeah. So when you have first at the thought level, your mind level, you generate loving kindness. And then after that, at your speech level, you learn how to speak politely, respectfully. And then your actions, yeah. So your thoughts, speech, and body actions, they are all coordinated with loving kindness and compassion. Now that is how you be able to give the kind of happiness to parents. Then when they are happy, they like to listen. And that's what happened to me. After my parents happy, my mother happy, then my mother told me, yeah. And when we were conducting a retreat in Sri Lanka, she was in her 70s, she would fly on her own, and she will go there and join the retreat. Yeah. Because she's happy. Yeah. So that is what, if you can make parents happy, and yeah, but sometimes it will take a little bit longer period. Yeah, longer period. So you should not confront your parents for whatever reasons. It is so important to have the respect, to do your duties towards parents, fulfill your duties and responsibilities. Yeah? Yeah. Then after that, you build up the merits and you will have opportunities. And bringing parents to Dhamma, do you know the Buddhist, what you call idea of respecting parents? Yeah. It is said that you can carry your mother on the right shoulder and your father on the left shoulder up to 100 years. Even they live up to 100 years. You can carry them wherever they go. Yeah. And I know some of you will think, how to carry father and mother right and left shoulder. The Chinese have invented that. Not only Chinese, Indians also have invented. You know the bamboo? They carry the bamboo and then there is the basket. Yeah. Then keep them one basket there, one basket there. That's all on your shoulder. Yeah. And you carry wherever they go and you clean them up. Yeah. You clean them, you massage them and clean them until they're 100 years old. Still, you cannot repay the debt that you owe to your parents. But if you can pave the way for your parents to come to Dhamma, then you more than repay the debt that you owe to your parents. That is the Buddhist perspective of respect to parents. So it's so important that you practice Dhamma, and so that's why when you practice metta, you also always include your parents, mother, father, your teachers, and all those whom you have respect, and wish them all well and happy. Okay? Yes?
All right. So thank you, Bhante, for giving us some clarifying in the Q&A session. As we have a limited time, so now we are going to next section. Okay, so dear brothers and sisters, okay, so if you wish to have the offering of dana, okay, I think they already mentioned in the screen. So you can proceed to the online banking on the details above. Okay, and if you have any inquiries, you can directly contact Brother Tay on the line mentioned. And also, we are hope that brothers and sisters can help us to fill on the feedback link. Okay, so our technical team, I think, will already paste the link to the chat box. So do spend 1 or 2 minutes helping us to fill in the link so that we can make better in our future events. And now we'll ask Bhante to lead us in the dedication of merits. So we're taking this opportunity to extend our dedications of merits to all the COVID victims all around the world, wishing them health and safe. Okay, now please, Bhante, we are going for the transference of merit session.
Before we do the dedication of merits, just bring your minds within, bring your attention within, and observe the calm, the quietness within. And in the calmness, just spread out loving kindness. Just have the wish that all beings be well and happy. In your wholesome thoughts, in your wholesome state of mind, you will share the merits with all the Dhamma protectors, all the guardian deities, those who have been guiding and protecting you, including the guardian deities in your locality. Share these merits with them all and have the wish that they too will walk the Dhamma's path and swiftly gain the liberation. And in so rejoicing with these merits, may they give blessings and protection to all. We will also dedicate merits to all our departed relatives, teachers, and friends, whoever that comes to your mind. Have the good wish for them all, that wherever they are born, may they have opportunity to receive Dhamma, to be guided, to grow in the Dhamma's path, and to be free from all sufferings one day. With all your good thoughts and the merits that you have acquired, please make your wish, make your aspiration. Have the good wish in your hearts that these merits, whatever merits you have acquired, will pave the way for you to have opportunities so that you'll be able to further develop and purify your minds. Purify your minds from the tendencies of grasping and various forms of clingings and attachments, from the tendencies of anger, of hatred and grudges, and the tendencies of delusion, cultivating the qualities of generosity, loving kindness, and wisdom, so that you will have the purity of mind that will give you the strength to confront and overcome whatever difficulties, whatever obstacle that may arise in your lives. That you will grow in wisdom and compassion, be able to make good use of your lives, not only for yourselves, but also for the well-being of others. And may all the merits pave the way for you to progress in your lives, to succeed in your studies, in your work, be able to fulfill your worldly duties and responsibilities, and at the earliest opportunity, may the seed of enlightenment be sown in your hearts so that you will walk the noble path and be free from all sufferings one day, and also have the wisdom, the compassion to help others, whoever that comes by your way. Please make your wish, make your aspirations accordingly. This time, whatever immediate problems that have arisen, have faith, have confidence in the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, as you make your wish and aspiration, so that you will receive the blessings, the guidance and protection, and be able to overcome whatever difficulties, whatever obstacles that has arisen. Please make your wish and aspiration and think of those who are near and dear to you, whom you wish to bring the Dhamma to. Bhatu Sabba Mangalang Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddha Vavena Sada Soti Bhavantate Bhatu Sabba Mangalang Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Dhamman Vavena Sada Soti Bhavantate Bhatu Sabba Mangalang Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sangha Vavena Sada Soti Bhavantate Akasata Bummata Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Namoditwa Chirang Rakantu Loka Sasana Akasata Bummata Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Namoditwa Chirang Rakantu Desanang Akasata Bummata Deva Naga Mahidika Punyantang Namoditwa Chirang Rakantu Mang Parang Te Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Abhivadana siddhisa nichang vada pachayino. Chataru dhamma vadanti ayu vanno sukhang balang. Ayurarogya sampatika sampati mevacha. Ato nibbana sampatti minate samejatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. By the power of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, may all your wish, may your aspiration come true, and may you all have long, healthy, happy lives, and continue to grow in the Dhamma's path and be free from all sufferings one day. And let us dedicate the merits of this occasion for peace, for harmony and stability in the world. And we pray that all suffering beings be free from suffering, that those in sorrow be free from sorrow, those in fear and dangers, may they be free from fear and dangers. That may all beings be well and happy. And through all these merits, all what the merits that you have done, also collectively, you have this wish and dedicate this, and that the COVID-19 will be mitigated, that we'll be able to alleviate the sufferings that's caused, that has been generated or conditioned by COVID-19 pandemic. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante. And brothers and sisters, so before Bhante take the leave, so let us once again pay our respect to Bhante Mahinda for giving us such a wonderful sharing on the Dhamma. Anjali Vatana Abhi Vatana. Anjali Vatana Abhi Vatana. Anjali Vatana Abhi Vatana. Anjali. Shadu,
Okay.
Shadu, Shadu. And with that, we have come to the end of this event. So thank you all the brothers and sisters in Dhamma for participating in this Dhamma talk. So as time is overdue, so actually we have some other events that will be going on in the next few days, but kindly proceed to YBAM webpage on FB so that you can serve all the events at there. So wishing all of you have a blessed Wesak month. Last but not least, happy Wesak and have a good night. Thank you.